Hello, in this video I have a game for you in my Storozhevoi, which I'm almost certainly saying wrong, but I like this ship anyway. This was my second ever game in Storozhevoi, and well, I always knew I would like this ship, just looking at the stats, and I had a little play with it on the test server once, but I think this ship actually just really suits my playstyle. At tier 2, it is incredibly fast and incredibly agile, more so than the other two tier 2 destroyers. Its guns shoot rapidly and they have long range, but they don't do a lot of damage per hit. The only real two downsides to this ship. Firstly, it has the fewest hit points of any ship in the game, and secondly, its torpedoes, well, being average in terms of damage and speed, have the slowest reload at this tier, and they've only got a 3 km range, which severely limits their usefulness. Anyway, I've decided to use my speed to get into the A capture point and start capturing it. I was actually just trying the strategy out in this ship. Previously I kind of hung back and used its range to kill my enemies, but I figure I'm also fast, so I should get in there, get the caps while I can early on. And it worked out for me this time. Spot an enemy Dresden and fire away at it, and I realise it's just outside my torpedo's range, so I fire off 9 torpedoes. I didn't mention it, but Storozhevoi gets 9 torpedoes on a broadside, which is a lot more than any other tier 2 destroyer, so it kind of makes up for its short range and long reload. And yes, I did just manage a citadel in Orlan with high explosive shells, so even though these are weak shells, they're still strong enough to do that. Anyway, the Orlan, well, I sunk it, and I've actually managed to clear this area of enemy ships. There's, well, 2 more enemy ships just on the other side of this island. There's a destroyer which has been spotted in an area which we just saw go around there. Now this is a Samson, and at this kind of range I figure the Samson's probably pretty deadly. It's got much better gun burst than I, and, well, similar firepower. But fortunately for me, it was looking the other way, so I managed to get a nice easy kill there before it can turn its guns on me. The downside is that it died right where I wanted to fire my torpedoes, but I delay for a bit, get my torpedoes out, put my smoke screen up, and, well, I'm out of sight now I think, but I lost about a quarter of my health, and 3 torpedoes find their target. Well, more than 3 would have found their target, but 3 was all that was needed to sink that Airy, which is my 3rd kill of the game, and its first devastating strike. So, things are going pretty well for me now. The A capture point's pretty well secured, which means that I'm going to take a bit of time to get down to B. Well, actually it's not that long, because as I said, this is a very fast ship, 35 knots. And because of the long range, I'm actually already firing away at enemies when I can. And aimed in there, take a shot. And unfortunately, because of the pretty slow gun traverse speed here, I'm only going to be firing my forward gun for a little while until my rear 2 guns get around. But the Emdens run aground, so it's going to be an easy shot for a little while. Oh, I managed to start a fire. Anyway, actually, I had to swing my ship around to the other side to get more shots at it, which means that my rear 2 guns, which had kind of just gotten on target, now have to swing all the way around again. So, I'm continuing to fire at this with a single gun, but at least I'm putting a shell out every few seconds and doing 250 odd damage with every hit. And, well, that Emden's dead. I didn't get the kill there, but, well, our team's winning this. There's only 3 enemy ships left, and there's 7 of us. So, we should be doing this alright. Moved into B, and we're now capturing it. Well, we're well ahead on points as well, and there's actually a pretty serious risk that the enemy team's just going to lose, well, on points by basically having them all get killed. You know, it's been shooting at an enemy destroyer, managed to wreck its engine there, and, well, it repairs it, but my guns are all on target now, and I wreck its engine again. It fires torpedoes at me, but I ignore them for a second while I keep firing my guns, managed to get my 4th kill. I realised I probably should have been paying a bit more attention as I managed to run my ship aground. So, I actually run my ship aground. I really need to get better at just watching where I'm going. Because I tend to focus on the ship I'm shooting at, and then the other enemy ships around, and my allies, and then fourth on my list of things I'm paying attention to is, you know, nearby islands. I'll probably run around like every second or third game. But anyway, got myself unstuck now. Up to 4 kills. There are 2 enemy ships left, and well, we're just moving into sea to capture it. There's an enemy Emden. First shot hits the island, and well, I figure if my first shot hit the island, my other 2 or 3 would continue to hit the island. So I just gonna have to swing around the other side of the island to kind of intercept the Emden when it comes around. This area on my team's going around in front of me, even though it's on very low health, and it's going to go up against a tier 2 cruiser. Well, it's not exactly wise, but at this point you just want to do as much damage as you can, so I can't blame it. I swing around, get my torpedoes off because it's just within my maximum range, switch to guns, and then I start turning into the Emden to minimise my profile, and then I actually change my mind and swing back out because I know the wreck of the area is right here, and well, that wreck takes a couple of shots for me, and my torpedoes, well, one of them hit the Emden, and that got me my Kraken Unleashed award, which, well, it's only the second game of the ship, so it's the first time I've earned it in the Storozhevoi. And we've just discovered the last enemy ship. It's a Samson on critically low health, and well, it's not moving, and for some reason it's not firing back at me, so there's kill number 6. So, 2,300 experience, Kraken Unleashed, devastating strike, got 2 Citadel hits and 124,000 experience in a tier 2 game. Doubled the experience of the next best on my team, and did, well, 30,000 damage, slightly more with my torpedoes than my guns, but well, I did wreck that area right back at the start. So yeah, Storozhevoi, I like it, it's quite powerful, and it just really suits my playstyle. I enjoy having the ability to hang back and just, well, skirmish with enemies, I suppose, just harass them at long range. And I also like the ability, if I get surprised or if I see the opportunity, to basically close in and my torpedoes will just devastate anything. I mean, 9 torpedoes, each one of them, they only do about 6,000 damage, but 9 times 6, 54,000 if they all hit, if my math is correct. Yeah, 54,000 can kill basically anything you're going to, well, it can kill anything you're going to encounter in a tier 2 ship. So I like having that as a backup plan for if I get surprised. I think the only real bit the ship's going to struggle in is kind of the medium ranges between maybe 2 or 3 kilometers out to about 5 or 6, where because you're fragile, you can't take a lot of damage, you're not going to have a lot of time to dodge incoming fire, and your turret traverse is quite slow, so an agile maneuvering ship could possibly outturn your turrets at that range, and of course you would also struggle to maneuver and keep your guns on target. But I can avoid those kind of ranges if I'm paying attention. I can kind of keep myself out of that kind of range. And so I think the Storozhevoi, and probably the Russian destroyers in general, are going to be a ship line I'm really going to enjoy. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I'll see you all next time.